This was Russian President Vladimir Putin attending the Brics summit in 2019 alongside leaders from Brazil, China, India and South Africa. But South Africa has just confirmed that the Russian leader will not attend the 2023 Brics summit, which is due to take place in August in Johannesburg.
This has been done by mutual agreement. We acknowledge this and we welcome finally putting and laying that matter to rest in order for us and the developing countries to focus on the pressing issues of the day, dealing with poverty, dealing with unemployment, and fighting for a just, humane and fair society.
The announcement comes from South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, who said in a statement that by mutual agreement President Vladimir Putin of the Russian Federation will not attend the summit, but the Russian Federation will be represented by Foreign Minister Mr. Sergei Lavrov. The announcement from the South African leader comes after he said in court papers that Russia had made it clear that arresting its sitting president would be a declaration of war. This is due to the current International Criminal Court arrest warrant for the Russian leader, which he would have been subject to if he left Russian soil. South Africa is an ICC signatory and is expected to abide by the requirements to arrest Putin if he sets foot in the country. However, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov has denied that Moscow told the South African leader that arresting Putin would mean an act of war, but said it was clear to everyone what that kind of infringement against the head of the Russian state would mean. Ramaphosa has previously faced pressure within his country to arrest Putin ever since the ICC announced its arrest warrant. Vladimir Putin has been subject to the ICC arrest warrant since March of this year for war crimes and the movement of children from Ukraine to Russia.
Today, 17th of March 2023, the International Criminal Court has issued 2 warrants of arrest in the Ukraine situation. For Vladimir Putin, President of the Russian Federation, and for Maria Lvova-Belova, Commissioner of the Russian President for Children's Rights, for the alleged war crimes of deportation of children from Ukrainian occupied territories into the Russian Federation. As a court of law, the judges issued arrest warrants. Their execution depends on international cooperation.
The Brics alliance, which was formed in 2009, is seen by many as a geopolitical rival to the G7. Recently, it's received membership bids from 19 countries including Algeria, Egypt and Indonesia. Sergei Lavrov, who attended a Brics Foreign Ministers Summit earlier this year, will represent Russia while Putin stays in Moscow.
Brics is a different structure. It's a new organization based on the principles of equality, mutual respect, consensus, non-interference, and strict adherence to the United Nations Charter, to all its principles in their interlinkages. I think Brics symbolizes the evolution of the multipolar world, which is talked about very often and more so, and the attraction to more than a dozen countries of Brics is a testimony to that.
The decision for Putin to not attend the Brics summit comes after Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky last week met with NATO leaders and signed a new joint declaration of support for Ukraine with G7 leaders.
The outcome of the NATO summit in Vilnius is a very much needed and meaningful success for Ukraine, and I'm grateful to all leaders in NATO countries for very practical and unprecedented support, considering decades of our relations support for Ukraine. Today there are security guarantees for Ukraine on the way to NATO, an important package of security guarantees.